So let's talk about this past Friday. Not only did the Wildcats have a victory, but a decisive victory at that. How'd that affect the team?
Well, I think first off, Jal's a very good team. They're very well coached. They have some very good athletes, and our kids came out and played well. And like the first few plays, I think they were getting adjusted to the game speed. And after the first few series when we were making stops defensively, I mean, hats off, our kids defensively were dialed in. And they shut out the Jal offense, which was pretty, in my opinion, pretty impressive. Hats off to them. They started playing with some real confidence. Offensively, it took us a while. They came out in something totally different. So we were kind of like, the first quarter or so, we're just kind of like, okay, why are they in this? And we're trying to slowly decipher how they were doing some things. And then once we started picking up on what they were doing, our kids started to open it up, and they started playing with some confidence. And they're playing at a pretty good level right now.
42-6. That is quite the victory, and I'm glad to hear that you guys got a little retribution on Jal for that earlier loss from the season, so you picked that loss back up. That was cool. So what's happening next?
So we got Eunice Saturday, 3 o'clock in Eunice. So we're traveling back to the southeast corner. We get to play Eunice, who's the 1 seed, and that should be a fun game to watch. They're very well coached. They got really good kids. But we do too. And at this point, me and the coaches were talking. It's going to come down to who executes, and this should be a fun game. And I don't think our kids are scared of anybody anymore. I think they know they have just as good a shot as any of the other 4 teams that are around right now. And we're going to go with the attitude this week when we prepare that we need to be we're going to win this game. That needs to be what our attitude is. They are. We're just as good as anybody. And so, Saturday, 3 o'clock, we go face Eunice, and I think the kids are real excited, and the coaches are real excited, and we're looking forward to this one.
Now, Coach, I asked you a question last week, and you kind of danced around it like these politicians these days. So I want to ask you again.
Okay.
Is this the year Tularosa brings home the championship?
Okay, and again, I'm going to give you the same answer, man. Right now, it's not a 5-team race anymore. It's a 4-team race, and we have as good a shot as any of those other teams if we execute. And I believe in our kids. I firmly believe we're playing next weekend for a state championship, and that's what I think we're doing. And I'm not going to say this is a year. I don't. Man, if I knew that, man, I'd be a wealthy man. But we have as good a shot as any, and I believe in our kids. I think, and I'll say this about anybody else, I think we have the best kids, and I trust our kids, and I love these young men, and they're starting to, they're starting to get excited. So,
what's the feeling with the team? Are they? Obviously they're out with a vengeance, and I like that. Do you think they're hungry enough to take it all the way?
I think they're hungry. They want it. I think they want it. I mean, just from what they're saying, but at this point right now, we can't look to 2 weeks. We got to look at Eunice Cardinals because they're a good team, and they're a team that's preparing to try to beat us just like we are them. And I think our kids know that. I just don't think they're timid or afraid of anybody anymore. I think they know that they're just as good as anybody else. Everybody has their strengths and weaknesses right now. Our kids are starting to play at a very high level right now, and it's cool to watch. And I don't know how to explain it. It's exciting. That's all I can say. It's real exciting to watch, but we just have to dial in and practice this week. We got to stay focused and not make and be disciplined. I mean, I'll be honest, up until the end of this last game, our kids did not respond to any of the cheap stuff that was going on, and they were playing very disciplined football. So,
what is your focus this week as far as training and practicing?
Really, it's just polishing. Like we said earlier, it's more about execution now. So we've got to really be able to execute like the fine details. Like our kids know what we do. I think defensively we got to prep because they run a spread like us. They throw the ball around, but they run the ball very well too. So it comes down to just executing our run fits and our coverages defensively. And then offensively, you know, I've seen them in even fronts. I've seen them in odd fronts. I've seen them in zone coverage. I've seen them in man coverage. Just, you know, I don't know what we're really truly going to get from Eunice until we line up to play the game and we get our offense out there, and then we'll start getting an idea of what their game plan is. I think, but our kids have seen just about everything this year, and I would honestly say they've handled most of that very well. So, don't know really what to expect. I'm anticipating them to be in an odd front and in some sort of cover 2 or a 3 high safety look, and that's what I'm kind of anticipating.
So Saturday in Eunice. Coach, is there anything else you want to say before we let you go?
Just, you know, thank you to the kids, thank you to the fans, thank you for the Tularosa community. Support these young men. They're a game away from playing in a state championship, and it's exciting. And I think, like we discussed, they have just as good a chance as anybody right now. I think the table is pretty even for everybody right now.
Well, the best of luck to you and your men, and we will talk to you next week about your victory over Eunice, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
All right, Coach. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye.